All right, folks, it's a Friday session, and we are talking about the Deaton bombshell that he just dropped. Now, it turned out to not be the tactical nuke that we were hoping for, but it is the sign of the truth coming out and hopefully justice being completely served. And I'll tell you right now, we got some more corruption coming out, some crimes that they're trying to cover up, and the story timeline continues on. Let's get right on into it. I appreciate you guys for tuning in on a Friday session. Let's run it up. So we're looking at this market right now, back down 26,580 for Bitcoin, Ethereum back below 1,600. XRP still holding strong at 51 cents actually. Bitcoin, looking at my September sacrifice chart here on the daily, and we saw the run up, as I called it, bull trap rally into the Fed decision. We get the pause, and then we get taken back down here. I think that we have just started this move. I don't think that we're done. We will continue to watch that one closely. Now, let's get right into some corruption and some crimes. We're going to start off here with Senator Bob Menendez, who in 2022 introduced a bill to mitigate risk of El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption, citing the open doors for money laundering and corruption. Today, the U.S. government indicted the senator for corruption. And the funny part about this is that he actually got paid bribes with gold. I think it was him and his wife, or him and somebody else, accepted big gold bars for payment and got caught. And I made a joking tweet this morning. I said, when I talk about the benefits of precious metals, I forgot to mention that you can also bribe your senator with it as well, right? Apparently in this case, though, they didn't cover it up well enough and they did get caught. That's a joke, please. I'm not advocating anybody to do any of this type of activity, and we do not stand for corruption, and we do stand for calling out all these guys. And it's so funny. The same ones who want to kill crypto, want to shut all this down, it's opening up money laundering and all this bad stuff, are the same guys who are getting it funneled on the back end time and time again. Now, then we get the announcement here today from the SEC. We announced settlement charges against Citadel Securities for violating a provision of Regulation SHO, the regulatory framework designed to address abusive short selling practices, which requires broker-dealers to mark sale orders as long, short, or short exempt. So Citadel, part of the whole big meme stock, GameStop trading saga, I guess we could call it, and they got charged here and settled up here. And I think it was a $6 million fine is what they paid. So chump change compared to how much they have been making rigging these markets and the abusive short selling practices. And folks, this is the type of rigging that we've seen from JP Morgan and others in the precious metals market. Here we got Citadels in short selling of equities and securities. Finally, this is coming out, getting exposed, and we're about to see, I think, some of these assets come back to price discovery after they've been suppressed, and it's all coming out. It's being confirmed. We were called crazy for this. Now, we know about good guy Gary Gensler, right, and his ties to Goldman Sachs. Today, we also get the announcement, or I guess here's the $6 million penalty. I don't know how much Citadel settled up for, but it's a slap on the wrist compared to the billions of dollars that they make. But we also get the announcement that Goldman Sachs settles up with the SEC, and that is for failing to provide complete and accurate securities trading information known as blue sheet data to the SEC. Goldman agreed to pay a $6 million penalty to resolve the SEC's charges. And for those of you who need to be reminded, of course, good guy Gary Gensler, some call him Goldman Gary as well, and that's because he was there for well over a decade. I think it might have even been 18 years. He was there for a substantial amount of time at Goldman Sachs, and his former firm getting charged here, getting caught, and getting busted. And speaking of getting busted, we're hoping to see it all get exposed. We have this guy here, Steven Narioff, the Ethereum whistleblower, saying, "I got here as soon as I could. Turns out I thought I was helping some people create a better world who repaid me by trying to imprison me for 4 years to bury their sins with a little help from their three-letter friends. They never thought I'd be back." And he takes the SEC, Department of Justice, FBI, and John Deaton. Now, this is why we were starting to get so excited with John Deaton's announcement, is because John Deaton was retweeting Steven saying, "Stay tuned," and he still is. And we got a little bit of update, right, from John Deaton in regards to Steven Narioff. I'm about to get right on into that. But the reason why we've been getting so excited, because Steven's speaking. We got Michael, his lawyer, Michael Scotto, right here, responding to a post from Digital Asset Investor, DEI says, hey, Stephen Narioff, I would love to sip a glass of wine this Friday evening while listening to your thoughts on this, tags John Deaton. And so this is why we were starting to get excited. We didn't know if this was going to, if he was actually going to drop the truth bombs that we were hoping for. But this is why we got so excited. Michael Scotto, he's coming in and he's the one who represented Stephen. And he's still commenting on this. He says, how about maybe she interview him today and ask why they lied about Stephen's role in Ethereum and why Vitalik hasn't replied to Stephen's messages after we proved Stephen Narioff was framed and was cleared. Never mind, we know why. Hashtag stay tuned. And I can't play this clip because it has some music, but it's the, the Oh No soundtrack, right? Or maybe it's the She Knows. I forget which one it is. One of those. One of the little TikTok songs. But it's talking about Laura Shin here asking Vitalik about whether or not Ethereum was a security. And, just the amount of clips that we have saved up and stored here in the XRP community to put all this together. And the final piece that we were missing was the whistleblower. And now these guys are singing. And this is the full update, the summary of John Deaton's announcement. So there was 3 separate different announcements that he was looking to make. First off, he is speaking with Stephen Narioff. He did confirm that and has seen some of the receipts. He says that he couldn't share much publicly, but said that all truth or most of this truth will be coming out. So that was reassuring. And he said that he would be glad to represent, Brad and Chris for free to cross-examine Bill Hinman if that's needed. And it sounds like the evidence against Bill Hinman and others is very damning. Now, the second announcement was that John has invested in Spend the Bits. And we had Jay from Spend the Bits, the CEO of Spend the Bits, on our show earlier this year. We're a big fan of Jay and his company and what they're doing on the XRP ledger. That's great. And then the third and final announcement was John's new book is now available. I think it's called Food Stamp Warrior, and it's a memoir on John Deaton's life. And, it's pretty interesting, pretty cool listening to John describe it. And he was clearly getting a little emotional too there. I know he's gone through a lot. And been a long time coming, this book that he's been working on. So, my key takeaways are that I find it very interesting that John said his conversations with Stephen are protected under attorney-client privilege, right? So he spoke about, he's had some conversations, he's seen some receipts. Everything for now is protected under attorney-client privilege. And it just got me, scratching my head thinking like, well, okay, what's going to happen here? You're representing 75,000 plus XRP holders. Now we're representing Stephen too. Is Stephen on our side? What is yet to be revealed? It sounds like if it's revealed, it's going to be damning as hell. And that's what I said here. It also sounds like the receipts he has seen are incredibly damning to Bill Hinman and everyone involved in the Ethereum ICO, which only gives us more reasoning for why we think this case is going to settle up. And I'm just sharing my opinion here. This is why I think this case will never go to trial, is because what they have on these, not just Bill Hinman, but on the whole agency and others, is very bad. And that's why there's no way that they're going to allow this case to go to trial, and why I believe it will settle up 100%. Next, I'm glad to see that John is investing in Spend the Bits. I had Jay on the show, and his work on the XRP ledger is great. That's fantastic. And we are glad to see that John has released his book. Now, we are hoping we can unveil the rest of Stephen's story soon. So the announcement, some folks disappointed, myself a little bit disappointed, because I thought that it was going to be a little bit more in regards to Stephen's story. I thought maybe he was going to actually just have Stephen on and we were just going to be live watching him interview Stephen. That's not happening yet, but it sounds like that could be coming down the road. I also threw it out there earlier this week that we need to depose Stephen Narioff on the record, get all this down on the record so that we can use this to protect the XRP community, and not just protect Brad and Chris and Ripple, right? But to protect the XRP community and to have it in our red folder so that we're ready to use it if need be. And so that's what I'm advocating for. Huge respect from John. Once again, he's leading the legal battlefield from the front. And I stand behind John. I stand behind everybody else that's in this fight. And together, our community will continue to apply pressure until we get that level playing field and until we win. But I do, I was hoping for a little bit more today. I guess that was our own fault for getting ourselves a little bit hyped up. But just as the conversations were swirling and as, everybody's saying hashtag stay tuned and all this, I thought today was going to be the day that we were going to drop a little bombshell truth bomb. We got a little bit. It's not as much as we'd hoped for, but that's nothing against John at all. He commented in his video about how it kind of blew up kind of bigger than he expected, but that's what we do in the XRP community. And so once again, it's very interesting to see how this timeline's getting exposed, where we go next, and how soon we could be to a potential settlement. As even before Bill Hinman gets called to hit the stand and we go to trial, right now we're already exposing this thing wide open. The only way to shut us up is to settle up this case with Ripple, Brad, and Chris, and then let us go on our merry way and give us our level playing field. But until then, we're just going to keep on applying pressure. We're going to keep on speaking louder. We're not going to be silenced, and we're going to support those that are putting up a fight. And I want to give a huge shout out here. James Philan sharing this one. Library appeal, right? So Library is officially going to appeal the SEC's victory. And the First Circuit Court of Appeals in Boston has directed Library to file its brief by November 1st, 2023. So we're going to be watching that case go on. We're going to be hoping to see some real truth bombs dropping from John Deaton and Steven Narioff here soon. It sounds like there's a method to the madness. I know it's frustrating. I'm frustrated, right? I want more. Give us more, please. But there's a process for doing things within the bounds of the law. And that's kind of where I'm at with everything is you got to take a step back and you got to understand when you're, collecting evidence, we can't reveal our plan to the enemy, right? In the middle of building our plan and our strategies and executing them, right? And so there's a method to this madness. I'm trying to respect that while remaining incredibly impatient I'm just someone who's all for the truth being revealed, and that's all I want, is just let all truth be revealed. Give us that level playing field. If Steven Narioff is going to be the smoking gun whistleblower to sing for us, then let him sing and let's let it be heard. And then we can go after everyone who needs to be held accountable, and let's get started right away. And the reason why, guys, is because I, along with I'm sympathetic to where we're at right now in this bear market recession, frustrated, XRP still at 51 cents. When are we ever going to go? When are we ever going to win? Wait, we did win the case. We have clarity, and yet the price is still at 50 cents, right? I feel it. The damages, as we've been saying, the damages are absolutely massive, and that's why we are so impatient, why we'll continue to apply pressure, why we will continue to support John Deaton, all the other lawyers, everyone else that's on this battlefield with us. Well, let's hang in here together, and the truth is going to be coming out here shortly enough. I wish that we got a little bit bigger of a bomb today, but we'll take it. It is progress, and we will follow up with you guys as it comes on out. If you guys need to get in touch with me or anything else, it's over at my website, zachrector.com. On the way out, can you please smash that thumbs up for me? And I will see you guys in the next one. God bless.